Welcome back, everyone, in War Eagle. My name is Eddie Orantes, and I'm the Director of Business Operations for the Office of Alumni Affairs. And for the next 30 minutes, your host of 18 minutes and 56 seconds, the Auburn Alumni Association Speaker Series. To see all our shows, you can go to aub.ie/1856 series. We want to keep this fast moving, so all our guests will talk or present or do whatever they do for no more than 18 minutes and 56 seconds. And we really want to hear from you. So ask questions, interact by leaving comments on our Facebook page, and we'll do our best to answer them in the half hour that we have together. Today we have the pleasure of introducing Adam Hood. He's a solo artist and songwriter. He will perform some tunes and talk about growing up in Opelika and having Miranda Lambert in Little Big Town cover his songs. We're going to start with The Easy Way as part of Somewhere in Between, released in October of 2018. Adam, welcome.
Hey, Eddie, how are you, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting. I'm glad you're here. You get to help us unwind and enjoy some good music for the next 30 minutes. So I know you've got a song to sing to us. If you don't mind getting us ready and sharing the song, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'll be glad to. I don't want to add anything to what's already been a long, hard day. I just want to take some pressure off you and get a little bit off your plate. You take care of a lot of stuff nobody seems to appreciate. Lord knows life can sure get tough, so I think it's time we take the easy way. It's time to let the curtains down, time to turn the TV off. You can get the glasses out, and I put a good record on. It's time to stop and thank the Lord for another beautiful day. Remember what we put here for, and maybe try to head that way. It's time we take the easy way. Well, we don't say it near enough. Well, we used to say it every day. Your lipstick on my coffee cup, or I'll love you on a window pane. We tend to get ahead of ourselves, driving in the passing lane. Ain't we tried everything else? So I think it's time we take the easy way. It's time to let the curtains down. It's time to turn the TV off. You can get the glasses out, and I put a good record on. It's time to stop and thank the Lord for another beautiful day. And remember what we put here for, and maybe try to head that way. It's time we take the easy way. Well, it's time to let the curtains down. It's time to turn the TV off. Well, baby, you can get the glasses out, and I put a good record on. It's time to stop and thank the Lord for another beautiful day. And remember what we put here for, and maybe try to head that way. It's time we take the easy 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 way.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. My pleasure.
It's a beautiful song. It's an appropriate song. It's a fun song. Look, I'm ready to take the easy way. You made me a fan. Tell me about the song and your story. We'd love to be able to hear a little bit about how you got started and what influences, what inspires you to write that type of a song.
Well, I mean, as far as getting started, I got started right there in where you are in Alabama, in the heart of of War Eagle country. So I'm from Opelika, born and raised. I went to school at Opelika High School. Played at a place called the Breezeway when I was a kid, and just kind of from there, just sort of started, you know, playing live. Usually, you get out and you play in front of people, and folks either like you or they don't. And so if they do, thankfully, you can kind of start moving on into other venues and stuff like that. And so as far as the writing stuff goes, I was always a fan of the songwriters. You know, my mother brought home an album of a guy named John Hiatt. It was an album called Bring the Family, and I was 16 at the time, and he had, you know, Hyatt's a pretty legendary songwriter, wrote songs for Bonnie Raitt and Susie Boggess, and just, you know, it hits, but at the same time also had, you know, made his own albums and stuff like that. And so I decided at an early age that was really the path I wanted to take, and for better or worse, I've stuck to it. So I mean, I'm about to be 45. Wow. And so been doing it the whole time. So, and still living in Alabama. We live closer to Tuscaloosa now, ironically. But so yes, still an Alabama native.
That's wonderful. So when it comes to inspiration, I mean, there's a lot of individuals that aspire to do what you're doing now, but not everybody gets the same opportunity or stays with it long enough to see the fruits of that creativity, the innovation, as well as the struggle. So where do you get your inspiration to keep going?
I think it's a number of things. Number one, it's the fact that I keep having songs. I mean, basically, you know, I've always read other people say, or I've heard people say and have, you know, read and sort of figured it out myself that, you know, the day that I don't have anything to write about, and the day that I don't really enjoy the process of writing or playing in front of people, you know, I'll get out of the way, you know. And so it's hard. And I mean, you know, but any job is hard. Any job, especially any job that you're starting out and you have your own dream and you have a goal and a vision of what you want. It's kind of always, it's a trial to build that, you know, and rightfully so. And it should be that way, because that way it's a, you know, proving grounds for, you know, how deserving you are to be able to accomplish a dream, whether that is music or whether that's, you know, engineering or whatever that is, you know. So that was just basically just that. It's encouragement from other people. It's having something to write about. If I when it's time to make a record and I don't have any material, I'm not going to make a record. But the beauty is, every time it's time to make a record, I've got an album full of songs. And so, you know, that's kind of, I try to keep my vision about as simple as that, really.
And keep it going. So we already have questions coming through on Facebook, which is wonderful. So I'm going to ask you a couple, actually more hellos. Tara Shaver says, it sounds good. Anderson Dunlap says, having Strutting Duck flashbacks.
I don't have very many Strutting Duck flashbacks. I don't remember very many Strutting Duck flashbacks. So,
okay. Fair enough. With the experience that you've been able to build, naturally, you've seen the good and the bad, and you have a sense of what will make and what won't. So how do you know what will make a good song versus, you know, one that will not go?
I mean, Eddie, to be honest with you, I'd love to tell you that I knew how to look. To tell you the truth, but I mean, I think it just kind of goes back to that, you know. I mean, the beauty is I've been able to kind of be around enough people that I've tried as hard as I could to be a student of the craft, you know. And so when you realize that, you know, I sit in rooms with other writers. I mean, I've written for Stapleton a number of times, and just, you know, guys of that caliber. You know, I've worked for Dave Cobb, who he produces Isbell's records, Jason Stapleton's records, Sturgill Simpson, a bunch of guys like that. And so you know, being working as a writer for someone like that, that's really kind of a master of the craft, you sort of learn what is expected from certain people, and everybody expects certain things. You know, sometimes, you know, the more commercial a song, really the less the less lyrical context somebody wants. You know, the simpler it is, the more it'll stick into somebody's mind. And so there's just a lot of different variations of it. And so, you know, I guess just trying to answer your question, you know, it's really trying to figure out what you're writing for. Are you writing for yourself? Is this to make my record? Is this to make, like you said, is this to make Miranda's next record? Is this to make Stapleton's next record? Is this to make someone that, you know, someone that's 21, a female that just, you know, was a finalist in American Idol? You know, what are you going to write for her? And so that's been the difference. It's not really, you never know what's good and bad. You never know. And usually what I think is good is usually what populace may think is bad. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's just been that way. So just try to, you know, again, think of the artist and what they do best, and try to, you know, nail it down as close as you can, you know.
Yeah, and I, as an end user, I know that what gets me is being able to sing with something that I identify with, right? And something that it's easy to sing along with. And so again, these two songs, the first one that you sang and the one that you'll be singing towards the end, are ones that really, you know, hit a place that I've enjoyed. Here's a question. How has the industry changed over time when it comes to the music industry?
I mean, in my world, considering, you know, I've been writing in Nashville for probably 12 years. So again, I still live in Alabama, but I've been, you know, employed as a writer for a publishing company for about 12 years. I mean, it's changed dramatically. I saw Kip Moore said in an interview that, like, when he moved to Nashville, there were probably 1,500 writers. There are about 300 now. So because of the digital age, and because of, you know, the all the stuff that you hear people talking about on you know, the headline news and stuff like that, you know, it's Spotify and streaming and things like that, and there, none of it's a negative as far as I'm concerned. It's all avenues to get your music out there, but the revenue has changed those things. And, you know, and so because of that, the whole infrastructure has changed. Record labels do different things. Songwriters do different things. Publishing houses do different things. You know, music licensing on television shows is a lot more lucrative a thing. Bass players who play on, you know, popular albums make more money than the guys that wrote the singles. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the Wild West right now. And it's a really exciting time, you know, because even though it's a little scary, it's also a time to where if you can find your niche, if you can get in there and say, this is what I do best, you can do it, you know, and kind of carve out your own path. So it's pretty exciting.
Speaking about exciting, would you play our second song for us?
I'd be glad to. This one's called Downturn. I know you came in here worried about me. I can tell by your eyes. You came to see if I'm all right, babe. Well, I'm all right, babe. It's a downturn, but it's a turn all the same. Sometimes it feels like a merry-go-round. I'm standing still. I go up, I come down all night, babe. In the music and lights, babe. It's a downturn, but it's a turn all the same. The circles I run in, the cycles older than time, and I refuse to abide an unchanging life. 'Cause running in circles beats the hell out of sinking in sand, and I simply can't stand to stay where I am. The circles I run in, the cycles older than time, and I refuse to abide an unchanging life. Because running in circles beats the hell out of sinking in sand. And I simply can't stand and stay where I am. So let the world keep on turning and set its own speed. At the end of the day, we've got what we need, and that's all right, babe. We're all right, babe. It's a downturn, but it's a turn all the same. I think you're muted, Eddie.
You know, I think I am. That was awesome. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you, man.
I know it's Todd's favorite song.
Well, thanks, Todd.
Listen, where do we find more about you? I know that there's going to be interested. They want to follow you, want to see you, maybe some videos, music. Tell us a little bit about where we can find you.
I'm pretty much on any avenue of social media that, that there are out there. I have a Facebook page. Well, of course, we have a website, adamhood.com. That's usually, if you go to adamhood.com, that's your channel to get you to pretty much everything. We have links to the Instagram account, the Facebook account, Twitter. That's where the Spotify links are. That's where iTunes music is, Pandora, and of course, you know, there's I'm usually on Facebook Live a lot, doing different shows. Again, you know, like you said, as being a songwriter, I've got a lot of friends that I try to get in and interview. This is a really cool time, even though we're not able to be out on the road. Mm-hmm. It kind of it frees you up to do a lot of cool stuff that you know, well, like this. I mean, this is a great thing, and to be able to do it from home. But yeah, I mean, any avenue like that, you can go to adamhood.com. That'll get you to all our social media stuff, and all the music's available on there, and t-shirts and stuff like that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate that. Can you tell us a little bit about your home experience here locally, the places that you've played, favorite venues, as well as a little bit about what it's like to write for others and how it feels to listen to your songs being performed by others and what that does for you?
It's it really is kind of there's a duality to it. You know, I mean, it's the highest form of flattery, basically. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, and you know, and really it's an ultimate gratitude as far as like someone of a certain stature appreciates your song enough to say, out of all these thousands that we've listened to, we've narrowed it down to 10, and you're one of them, two of them. I mean, I just spent some time writing with Travis Tritt, you know, which is, I mean, Travis is my hero. And so we got an album coming out in a couple of weeks. I mean, we probably got 4 or 5 songs on there, and you know, and so it's the artist I was groomed to play. I used to go see Travis at the Columbus Auditorium all the time. You know, I mean, I saw him there like 3 times. And so, you know, growing up in the area, you know, you just write about the stuff that's around you, the world that's around you. And you know, that was what I grew up around that kind of stuff, and was thankfully, you know, I got to see Travis and you know, who else? Daryl Scott and guys like that just kind of come through and play the Supper Club and places like that. And so, you know, it was really cool. And I don't know that my experience would be the same as anyone else's. And so it's really kind of a blessing. I can, you know, you can look back and you can say, man, this was kind of a path, you know, and it's really neat. And it's really neat to see that, like, the path kind of came out of Opelika and Auburn. I have a lot of gratitude towards the area.
Well, I'm sure that the area has a gratitude for you as well. I know that you've been, I guess, involved at the Songwriters Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
This, well, the last week of March was going to be I think the 3rd annual. So, which I know that they've rescheduled it, so we'll be there at that. But I mean, I just think it's really cool to see growing up and, when I got started in high school and through college and stuff like that, I never even dreamed that there would be such a thing as a Songwriters Festival. There's someone like John Mullins and like we're talking about Grayson Capps and guys like that. Number one, it was never in my wildest dreams that would happen in Opelika, Alabama. Number one. Number two, that I would be on the bill. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things. I mean, it's cool to see your name on a Miranda Lambert album. Yes. It's cooler to me to see your name at the Opelika Songwriters Festival or anything like that. Anything that there's something culturally, musically, creatively happening in the place that I started is huge. It's huge to me. And so, it's really, I know that in the Opelika Auburn area, there's a lot of creative stuff happening. And there's just kind of it feels like a renaissance almost. And I am just so excited to just see it exist. It makes me want to move home, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't.
Well, come home back. What are your biggest influences, Adam?
I think as far as like people musically, John Hiatt was my hero. He was the guy that started the whole thing for me. Other than that, Delbert McClinton is probably my other biggest hero. Ian Moore, who's a Texas artist that lives up on the West Coast, lives kind of in the Pacific Northwest now. He's a big hero of mine. And the cool thing is I've been doing it long enough now to where my heroes have kind of become friends. Brett Cobb is a buddy of mine. He and I write together a lot. One of my dearest friends, and I'm really influenced by his music. Jason Eady is another buddy. Jason and I wrote Downturn together, and it's really nice to have people that are peers that you can listen to their music and really. I don't like it because they're my buddies. I like it because they're great writers and they're talented artists, and so it's nice to sort of be surrounded by that too. So, which is great.
It's interesting when we think about the human element. There is a similarity in what you just described to mentorship that happens in my field. But I think ultimately what happens is you're around individuals who you share a common interest or a common idea. They influence you, you influence them, and then magic happens. So it's really cool to hear that in music, just like in the professional field, mentorship and or influence of people plays a big role in who you become.
Right, exactly. Well, and there's got to be a flip between the student-teacher thing. And granted, I don't feel like I give sound enough advice to ever be anyone's teacher. But it's nice to be more around fellow students. You know what I mean? Where it's you're kind of at a different level of study. Which is really nice.
In the last couple minutes that we have together, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Are you promoting any new music, and do you have any possible tours in the near future?
I'm getting offers to start going out in June, to be honest with you. So, just adamhood.com is kind of where we'll have the tour stuff like that. It's a really interesting time right now. We're getting offers, but I'm thankful to see them and know that we're probably a lot of these venues are going to be kind of half capacity. As far as new music goes, my Warren Thornton is the guy that produced my last album. We were in talks about it when all this stuff hit. So that was first week of April was when we had made plans to start pre-production. This kind of backed us up a little bit, I would imagine, probably June. We're hoping realistically to have something out by the end of the year. It maybe not. Again, same thing. We got the songs. It's just a matter of trying to find time to where we can record and be safe doing it.
Adam, listen, I want to thank you for the 30 minutes that you've given us to enjoy some great music, good conversation. Again, I've become a fan, and the Auburn Alumni Association is proud of your success. We wish you all the best in the years to come. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate that.
It's my pleasure, Eddie. It's really an honor, and it means a lot that you guys would ask me. I have a big fondness for Auburn and the university, and so I'm really honored. It means a lot.
Wonderful. Well, join us next week when we get to spend another 18 minutes and 56 seconds with our Rockstar Alumni Club coordinators, Moira Pyle and Emma Brannon, and they will be joined by Eric Dunlap, LA Auburn Club President, and Laurie Halverson, Greater Birmingham Auburn Club. It will be a fun time learning more about our Alumni Association's clubs and affiliate programs. That's Thursday, May 28th at 11:30. Until then, stay safe and War Eagle.